The Alias.
What can I get you tonight?
This is always a fraught moment for me at a new bar. Sometimes I order something specific, gin sour for instance, and see how they make it. If a bartender can make a credible gin sour, I can usually feel confident that I'm in good hands. The problem is, what if she's a perfectly competent bartender, but she's never had a self-important jerk try to test her with a gin sour before? I could very well get a tumbler full of ice with a splash of well gin and a squirt of sour mix from the soda gun. What if she's really good at a couple of drinks that I don't know anything about and don't know enough to ask? The Japanese have a phrase that they use in sushi bars, omakase de, which means something like, I put myself in your hands. Or at least they used to say it before pretentious Americans started saying it all the time to prove how sophisticated they were. In theory, this might be a good strategy for ordering a drink, but in my experience, bartenders generally have one of two reactions to, whatever you feel like making. Either, ooh, a challenge, or I don't get paid enough to do this guy's thinking for him. I've had a bartender make me something magical with elderflower liqueur, brandy, and fresh blueberries. I've also been served a pint of Bud Light and a stern look. So in the fraction of a second after she asks me what I'd like, I freeze up a little with indecision. I've got a soft spot for rum, and I wouldn't mind something sweet, but I'm not up for a tiki drink with 14 types of garnish and a flaming lime. What would somebody order who wasn't afraid of sweet and fruity, but wanted to be taken seriously? Would you please make me something that you would make for a gay Rastafarian arms dealer? I'm not really sure where that came from, but it has stopped the bartender in her tracks.
Could you say that again, please?
Certainly. A gay,
Yes.
Rastafarian,
I'm with you.
arms dealer.
Okay. Give me a couple of minutes.
What follows is a deep contemplation of some of the dustier bottles hidden among the Grey Goose and Jack Daniels. Furious concentration, precise mixing, and the addition of 2 or 3 drops of a mysterious tincture from under the bar. Later, I will not remember if I even like what she's made for me, but in the moment, we're sharing a creative bond. We're communicating in a strange way that doesn't fit easily into a category. Over the years since, I've asked for drinks that a raft of different bartenders made for the black sheep of a wealthy family in disgrace and exile, an assassin who's lost his nerve, a Star Trek enthusiast who has finally memorized the lyrics to Livin' on a Prayer in Klingon, an accountant on the run from the Irish mob, and Zorro. Sometimes the exercise works in reverse. I will make or invent or try a new cocktail and try to imagine who would drink such a thing. Which brings us to this week's cocktail. Today's drink is a twist on a classic. It is called a Kentucky Mai Tai. Okay, don't stare at people like that. It gets creepy. Okay. Anyway, sorry. So, the first step is to fill your cocktail shaker about a third of the way up with crushed ice. Now, I crushed this by wrapping regular ice cubes in a tea towel and smashing them with a rolling pin. So we've got a third of a container of crushed ice, and we're going to add 2 ounces of rum, whatever rum you're in the mood for. Seriously, don't overthink this. This happens to be some peach rum that I made earlier in the summer, but this is fine. Okay. Now, one of the things that makes this such a classic tropical cocktail is the 1/2 ounce of orange curacao. Now, a lot of us have heard of blue curacao, but that's just like a flashy take on the original. It's an orange liqueur. You can actually get a dry orange curacao, which doesn't make things too sweet. Okay, now what makes this a Kentucky Mai Tai is the half ounce of bourbon that we're adding to this. Now, bourbon is a little bit of a prima donna. If there's too much in it, it will take over any cocktail, just dominate it. But we're doing half an ounce of the bourbon as opposed to 2 ounces of the peach rum. So, okay, as always, we're going to add some citrus. And in this case, fresh squeezed lime juice. As we've established, lime juice is everybody's best friend in a cocktail. And again, not the prettiest lime in the world. And you know what? Just for the heck of it, plonk. Okay. And we're looking for an ounce of fresh lime juice. And this lime was not especially juicy, but I think it was also a little dehydrated. Okay, so we're going to put a full ounce of this in. And so I think the flavor of the lime juice is going to be a little more complex. Yep, let's avoid scurvy at all costs. Okay, next comes orgeat. This is an almond syrup that you find in a lot of tropical drinks. And we're going to add a half ounce of that as well. And that almond background, you don't taste it and go, ooh, almonds. But it adds this fruity back note that you would really miss if it wasn't there. And, yeah, could you try to put the cap on, please? And then, last but not least, we're going to do a 1/4 ounce, just a whisper of simple syrup to bump up the sweetness. That full ounce of lime juice really adds more acid than you think it's going to. And boom, seat the shaker. There we go. And as always, attempt to find some rhythm. And okay, now instead of straining this, we're going to just pour the whole thing, the whole shebang, including, plonk, that half of a lime into a rocks glass. And not surprisingly, everything that we added, with the possible exception of the lime juice, is amber colored. So this is a very amber looking drink. And, oh yeah, you've got that classic rum and almond and lime and a little bit of orangey flavor, but there's this just little hint, just this little hint of the bourbon saying, yep, I'm here. And this is a good drink for your intriguing new friend who has lost her real estate license under mysterious circumstances.